Hey athletes, in this video we are going to explore a pogo progression, essentially our box bounces, both 2-foot and 1-foot variation. Now I'll quickly demonstrate the 2-foot variation, then we'll do a quick sort of design or drawing on the board, and then take it a step further. So, box, 4 points. And then obviously in the opposite direction. So, the way I want you to visualize this is we're essentially creating a square. And you are attempting to hit all 4 corners of the square. So the key to success here is we're looking at very sharp 90-degree turns. So we want to see that you hit this position and immediately turn into a 90. That you hit this position and immediately turn into a 90. Where we start to see performance dysfunctions or sort of technique issues or power issues is it no longer looks like a box. It starts to sort of shift and melt into an oval shape or a trapezoid or a weird triangle. We just want to see that you're attempting to maintain sharp 90-degree angles. So let me demonstrate that again and we'll break it down a little bit further. So visualize your box on the ground and then look to bounce in those directions. Through. So a couple of key points to consider. This is an ankle plyometric, so this should all come from the ankle joint. There should be 0 to minimal knee or hip elements here. So keep the lower body quite stiff, quite bouncy. We also want to remember that we're looking for parallel feet. We shouldn't see any turning. They should always be forward. We're trying to train a bounce, a change of direction within this particular stance. So as you bounce, we shouldn't see that your feet turn to accommodate the direction that you're trying to go. Stay forward at all times. Additionally, we should talk about what's happening in the upper body. So, as you're starting to increase the distance of your bounce, as that box gets bigger, I want you to sort of imagine that your head and shoulders almost kind of stay towards the middle. And I'll demonstrate it a little bit better on our diagram here. I want you to imagine that sort of your head and shoulders are essentially tracing a circle through the middle. So that might take a moment to understand, but observe where my body is, that I'm always almost leaning a little bit to the inside. Now it's not drastic, I'm not bending hard, but I'm allowing my ankles to bounce me and I'm kind of keeping a very slight control to the middle. It's minor, 5 to 10 degrees, but there's just a little bit of that lean towards the inside. So visualize these components, once again, performing in all directions, so clockwise and counterclockwise, 2 feet. Once you have successfully built upon this foundation, now we move into the single foot variation. And honestly, it's exactly the same, but just a much smaller surface. You're much bouncier, much more powerful and fast on 2 feet. There's more stability, there's obviously more muscle mass. So in the single foot variation, be conservative at the start and recognize for the first time we're implementing an increased risk to hurting yourself in training. If you're not paying attention, you go too far, you could theoretically twist your ankle. So start small, know what your technique looks like and feels like, use a mirror as needed, and build towards bigger performance versus setting yourself back early on. So quickly demonstrating, I'll just do my right leg, same thing. Pushing through. Hard 90-degree angles, foot always stays through the front, and otherwise exactly the same thought process, just on one leg.